trumpet. Congress, are you ready? For the teacher, Senator, Daimon Crawford. I want to start by paying my respects to those on the platform, to the moderators of tonight's activity, to my brethren, Comrade Maurice Daimon, Member of Parliament. I'm always respect Maurice Daimon because them man them kill champion, them kill champion. When them see our ability, they encourage it. You have some people who try to stifle ability. And me personally experience that Maurice Daimon push you with your talent. And then when we come in and St. Mary, we say that is just what he do. And I'm just a friend too. No people go school because of my ability. Maurice Daimon. I then want to say to the mayor and the candidates from the local government election, I respect you and I thank you for what you have done for the People's National Party. And the reason I'm afraid so now is because the council has showed that when we're serious, we're serious. Respect and thank you very much. Chris Brown, next member of Parliament for South East. Them say they talk about done and credit alone done. So we say respect the veteran and we look forward. Woodbine not here, but we expect Woodbine to get that one. And why Woodbine got the same on that one is because good will come over you. And the last time you hear this man, I say him Hobia and him Huntla Hobia man. Hobia work hard. And of course, Emmanuel Mudrochi invested his time, committed himself, and is back to represent his people. You have some people that want to be an MP, and then you have some other people who want to be an example. And this man is an example. That is not where you start, it's where you put him and how it's going to go. You know where he's coming from, and you know where he's going to take you. So this man is not just an MP, he's an example. Respect, obedience, love. Senator Fly, big up yourself. Hey, we don't run to beat them in the Senate. Sometimes we have beat them in the Senate. We don't can't come hold me sometimes. Sometimes we have beat them over somebody hold me. We don't want to kill them in the man. But big up the senators who around this thing. Now, what's happening remind me of a song. The song says, by the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down, and there we waited, when you remember, cause the wicked carried us away, required from us a song. Oh, can we sing the Lord's song in our place? I want you to meditate on that song. Because that is exactly what is happening at this point in time. It says, by the rivers of Babylon, which is a bad place, is a system made to hold you down. It says they sat by the river of Babylon and they were sad about where they were as they remembered a better time and a better place. But they were asking them to sing in enjoyment even though it was a bad place. That is what we see happening now with the Jamaica Labour Party. That the roads were mashed up, you should think that is good. That the garbage was stink, you should think that is perfume. That the murder we are going, you should think say is not murder. That nothing is wrong and the sufferation is not sufferation. The only way Babylon could make you sing a song is if it could tell a lie that Babylon is higher. The only way Babylon could make you sing a song is if Babylon could trick you into believing that everything was alright. And the only way the JLP can win is if we allow lies to become true. And they're telling lies on the past, they're telling lies on the current, and they're telling lies on the future. The first thing I want you to remember is that every positive change that happened in this country came on the People's National Party. It was Norman Manley that brought political change, that bring us to independence. And you have some people who say, boy, we should have still under England. I want the older people to remind them, say, in those days, black man couldn't go to a hotel. In those days, black people couldn't work a bank. In those days, you were a servant owned by the people who you worked for. Then came Michael Manley, who bring ideological change. It's Michael Manley that make a man know, say, I am a simple man, but simply a man I am. This is sometimes people realize that when you think you're a backdoor boy, or when the front door open, you still go around to the back. You have some people that don't want you to want the chicken breast, you must always want the chicken wing, the chicken back. So when Michael bring ideological changes was to say, I am somebody deserving of something. Because if you don't think you're somebody, then you won't think you deserve something. They want you to feel your dog to treat you like that. They want you to think you're nothing to treat you like nothing. And when Michael Manley come to say that no bastard done there again, it was to make every Jamaican know that they were legal in the sight of the law. And somebody in the sight of God. There was a time when you go to chop all banana at the farm, they will come out and say, how much you want? And you say, give me $10. And then look on the next man and say, how much? And they say, give me 8. And it's not done until a man reach $2. It was Michael Manley who come and said there must be a minimum wage for a person who is willing to work. It was Michael Manley who built Jamal. It was Michael Manley that said equal pay for women. It was Michael Manley that said maternity leave would pay. There was a time when a woman was pregnant too, she don't want to lose the work, she wrap her belly to make it don't show. Because who they hire, I said, boy, I cannot take somebody with me, I'm going to send up and hire somebody else and pay 2 people. And then PJ Patterson. PJ Patterson bring infrastructure change. He said the road to development is the development of roads. All these roads, including the one where we try to go to Oterios under PJ Patterson. Highway 2000 under PJ Patterson. Nobody build more house than PJ Patterson. Nobody build more school than PJ Patterson. The park program is PJ Patterson. The toll road is PJ Patterson. And those people who want to criticize PJ Patterson must remember one truth, that when PJ Patterson won, well, PMP won in 1989, poverty was 30%. By the time PJ finished in 2007, poverty was 9%. Reduced poverty by 21%. Now, when you say percent, some people might not understand. But 30% means that if you see 3 people, 1 poor, it means that under Eddie Siaga, Jamaicans who were poor was almost 900,000. PJ removed 600,000 from poor. How can that not be a good thing? And then when JP take it back in 2007 under Bruce Golding, poverty increased from 9% to 19%. Bruce Golding put back 300,000 people in poverty. It took Portia Simpson to carry it back down to 11%. Taking back out 280,000 people. Under Andrew Holness, every day 9 more people get poor under Andrew Holness. If you make 9 more people poor every day, how you want 5 more years? How much would that be? Since Andrew Holness win, poverty has increased to 12.1%. So when we say we are the party for the poor, it's because we try to transform the system to make less people poor. Indeed, I hear them running around and talking about Andrew is great. Like who? I tell them, say Andrew not bright like when me in a 1 grade and them time them in the idol. The highest murder rate in this country under any prime minister was 1,420 under Bruce Golding. The second highest is 1,380 under Andrew Holness. So how now they're going to come and say crime going down in 1 month? We had a good February, and we had a good March, and we had a good last week. I said to you further, that when you look at the circumstances of our infrastructure, and now people only look on the road and say, oh, it's comfortable or me not comfortable. When you have bad roads, it put everything at risk. If your house is burned down, the fire truck either cannot come or it take long. If they get a stroke, by the time you reach a doctor, you're either fully crippled or you're dead. And still, we look at this road infrastructure, and then the Prime Minister who's in charge of roads tell you, say, it's an emergency after 9 years. And then go around and patch, and then promise you that you're going to get 200 roads by September. 200 roads is 3 roads per constituency. It means that in this constituency, you will not even get 1 road per division. And then because it's so enough, we say we want the 200. Port Mariana get them. Because they don't even have 1 per division. Andrew will just walk around and say he's building houses for the poor. And every day he's on TV showing a house for the poor. In 9 years, they built 280 houses. He says the poor need 6,000 free houses. It will take 168 years to build 6,000 based on what is happening at this time. Who will be around for 168 years? What can go through? But because the people not recognizing these things, they live in hope that maybe the next one will be them. But PJ Patterson alone in 1 year built 10,000 houses over in Greater Portland. Every real development in housing under the People's National Park, including Mona, including Harborview, including Hope Pastures, under the People's National Park. So then we look at what is happening, and we say that we want 1 degree per household. Because we see too much picnic in St. Mary with 10 subjects, a catch box from Chinaman and wholesale. We see too much 9 subject children cannot go to university. And we will never accept a tractor running a taxi instead of being on a farm. But we have doctors and we are saltfish instead of being in a hospital. So we say we want 1 degree per household. And the way to get it is that the first person in every family that matriculates to the university will receive a full scholarship. The JLP said no, we can't do that. Why can't we do that? When we do the total mathematics of the first person in the family, it will be $3 billion. Jamaica have $1,000 billion and we can't find 3 to make a child who can be a doctor, an engineer, be an engineer. Because JLP is a whole dumb government. If it is not them, it's nobody. They should be the only ones to see our university fee. But under the People's National Party, when St. Mary escape on the toll, is not to go nowhere, it's to go to university and register to be doctors and lawyers and engineers. And that is in the DNA of the People's National Party. We should never be surprised that JLP is against education, because from the start they said they have never seen scholarship, they have only seen sugarship. Remember JLP's education can't. Remember they were against Michael Manley when he said education is free to the university. Let us not forget that PJ Patterson increased education access at the university by 300%. And Joelness increased it by 3%. That means that PJ Patterson is 100 times better than Joel. We said we want 1 meal per child in school. How can a child learn a hungry belly? We see some picnic come to school, and by time it reach 10 o'clock, head up on the decks. We see picnic come to school and look like they want to faint when they go back home. They tell you that 58% of Jamaicans, more than half, have problem finding food. The JLP say no, we can't do that. Explain to me, how can a country be okay with giving 3 meals to an adult in prison, but don't want you 1 meal to a child in school? How can we afford 3 meals to an adult in prison and tell ourselves that we cannot afford 1 meal to a child in school? And when he comes out of school and become a criminal, you're willing to then take him, give him 30 years and feed him, instead of when he's there for 5 years of peace. But I said to you, and I see enough young people, I'm loving. I see some young one here from Odai, I tell you something. Don't make nobody tell you say you dance. If you can walk and talk, you can learn. You never born to walk. You learn to walk. You never born to talk. You learn to talk. But the labor rights want to tell you, so you start at 9 months and done at 19. How can that be possible? What can go so? So they're sending you to school with no teacher, and then say how you feel. No book, and then say how you feel. No food, and then say how you feel. But when PMP take over education, the only time they will say labor is labor for learning before you grow old. Because learning is better than silver. What will we do? We will stop sending home our children at 2:30 and no adult not reach home till 7. Leaving our little young girls to be molested by adults and our boys to be recruited by gangs. We're extending the school day to 4:30. And on a Monday and a Wednesday that is homework, and on a Tuesday and a Thursday that is clubs and society. We're ensuring that every child have their books in school and every child have a meal to eat. We're fighting for our teachers to make sure that America don't look like greener pastures, that they want to stay in Jamaica and teach our children in Jamaica. So tell the teachers that we will make it easier for them to own a house and easier for them to own a car. So when you stay for 5 years, you will get a concession that you can buy your car. And when you go to NHT, you will get a bigger mortgage so you can own your house. Why would we have a system that our best teachers are leaving for the cold when Jamaica is a nice place to live? But Labour don't want you to learn, so they don't fight for teachers. They fight for criminals. And I see them talk about how things are canal. Let me don't forget that JLP hired a lawyer for dollars to prevent dollars from going to foreign. How PMP not talk about JLP things? How can we expect Wholeness to fight crime when he was a senior member of the JLP party that decided to fight for dollars? We forget that he was there, but he was very present. We go further and we say that we are going to put a system in place that if you cannot afford the down payment for your house, you can rent an NHT house and some of the rent go to your mortgage. You know how much people pay rent and therefore can't save to buy a house because the rent broke them. I know some people in town that pay 200,000 for rent out and 300,000 on the salary. The next 100,000 I pay for car, I pay for food, they never own a home. And we say that you have a housing minister from St. Mary's, so therefore you know zone order. We will build houses that you can go into those houses and pay a rent. And if the rent is 80,000, 40,000 is being saved for you, so that when you reach the down payment, the rent transforms into a mortgage and then that is miserable. I hear them say, PMP don't have no idea. When can Labour write have more idea than PMP? Mash down that line. We then go further and say we know that when you need a mortgage, you have to go to the bank with a payslip. How much people don't have a payslip? Who plays sound have no payslip? Who go market now no payslip? Who run round robin now no payslip? Who get a little money from them boyfriend and girlfriend now no payslip? Who they on TikTok now no payslip? So that should be accepted as proof that you can afford the mortgage. The only reason for the payslip is proof that you can afford the mortgage. So if you're on a round robin, you know much round robin and you have a bigger food and watch just up that bank. You know much farmer and want bigger food than what wear jacket and tie. That's why we tell them to farm food and stop farm food. That's why I said tie your coat until you can tie your boat. And we start giving cow soon. You say we give a coat, then call the coat man. Well, we don't give a cow, call the cow boy. What I'm saying to you. Thank you, man. So all of that